Johnson, man. It's been a journey.
Sure.
And then, we finally see the finish line. So reflect. I know you still got games plural ahead, but reflect for me on what this journey has been like for you.
Could you hear me?
Nah.
Could you hear me on the camera?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just remember when we first met, same way. It was way back during recruitment, back in like 2017, 2018, when the journey first started. And coming down to this, it's almost crazy how that played out. To come down to the two winningest teams in college football history, playing in the Rose Bowl, both fighting for survival. It's a great story.
It feels like part of the story is an underdog. You're almost like a microcosm for the team, because you come from Connecticut. They think dudes from Connecticut, they don't ball like that, right? You play against Ohio State. They think you guys don't have the speed. You blew them out last year. Then now you come up against Alabama. They got 2 first-round corners. They got this secondary with all these NFL guys. And I look around, and it seems like, I know you don't look at the reports, but it's like, man, they make it sound like Michigan can't throw the football against a team like that. Do you ever use that as fuel, or do you tune that completely out?
There's definitely ways to use motivation here and there. Find any type of bulletin board material that they give us. But ultimately, it's just going to come down to once the ball snap, how you read and react from that point. All the talk leading up to it eventually dies down around 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern.
I hear that. So now you've been through this a couple times, though. Winning the Big Ten championship game, going to the playoff. Yeah. This is another thing we talked about in the offseason, like the preparation for last year. Was there anything different leading into the TCU game that if you had it to do over again that you would do differently? Now that you're in it, can you kind of compare the lead up to this game to the lead up to last year's game? Is it any different at all?
That's a good question, because it's really like that whole month of December is like that prep month for that last game in December. And then that's a good question because you're trying to learn from the past, because those last 2 games didn't necessarily go our way with the Orange Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl. So there's some things I've switched up. I know some other guys have switched up stuff, the coaching staff, switch up that preparation. But we'll see. Yeah.
All right, so when you look at Alabama on film, other than the talent, especially in the secondary, what kind of stands out to you? What makes them so difficult to prepare for and play?
They're just like Saban's guys. He's a DB. He works with those guys. And those are his guys. So we're going to go head-to-head, 50-50.
I think another reason why people shortchange you guys is because they don't know how banged up y'all were toward the end of the season, and not just JJ especially, but not just JJ. How big has this month been for you guys health-wise?
That's another really good question, because that month does allow you time to steal a month of recovery as well, with that as well. So get everyone healthy. That's definitely a big factor going into the game. You want everyone at top shape, playing at their prime, the best football they've ever played on that first day of 2024. So that month has allowed us to steal an extra month of recovery as well.
Okay. All right, so last couple for you. One of your roles, other than obviously being a playmaker on the outside for Michigan, is your mentor. You're a mentor to the young guys. And I remember last offseason you were talking about Darius and how you were seeing some things come along. So throw a foot on me. So, add a foot to me and pretend for a second that I'm Darius. Mentor me about the next step for me, because he's your understudy.
Okay.
They're not going to give him the job, but it's right in front of him to go take. Yeah. What are you telling him in preparation for that opportunity?
Yeah. That's a great question, because you see these younger guys coming in, even these new early enrollees starting to show up, and they can just fit right in. It's a good culture here. I just tell those guys, just remember what the end goal is. Start with that goal in mind at the beginning, and then just stay consistent every day and just never give up with that treatment. Take care of your body, eat healthy, stay and get some extra catches in on the jugs machine after practice, watching film. All those stuff you tell a young guy to get their mind right, and ultimately just go do what you do once the ball snaps. That's really what matters most.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so will we see all the Johnsons out here for the Rose Bowl?
We'll see almost all of them. My younger brother, Cornelius Johnson, he's playing basketball at Navy, so he's got a game in between those days, so he won't be able to fly all the way out here and back because they got strict schedules.
Cassius will be here?
But Cassius, my older brother, will be there. My mom and dad will be there too. So I'm really excited. They're all getting in today.
All right, man. Well, good luck out there. So proud of you.
Yeah.
Go out there and do your thing.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate
Appreciate
you.
it. Thanks a lot, man.
Nice.